What's going on, guys? NealGuides here. Welcome back to another video. Now in today's video we're going to explain how to use the 4-1-2-1-2 second variation. I've also got my eye tracker as well. So for example, like now I'm looking at Mane, so you can see where I'm looking in the screen. Don't forget you have to turn this to 1080p to see the bubble a bit more. So the bubble you're seeing on the screen, like I'm looking at Stegen now, is my actual eye movement. So we're going to go into the game. As I said, if you haven't seen the tactics and instructions for the 4-1-2-1-2 second variation, make sure you see the video below which will explain how the system works, etc, etc. But without further ado, let's go straight into a game. Also, just as a reminder, we're also doing a charity stream, which is going to be on Saturday. So you're probably watching this on a Friday. So tomorrow or Saturday or whenever you watch it, 2nd of May, we're going to be doing a charity stream. Oh, he's actually got a pretty decent team. He's got Cruyff, Maldini, got a new Laporte card, which I've not seen yet. He's got Cancelo now. Cancelo, yeah, he's not maxed out Cancelo's pace. Salah's obviously left-footed. I think Barnes is right-footed. So we got some danger men, but I think Cruyff is the main danger person here. That's a team I look at. The 4-1-2-1-2 also come up with any team. People ask me, about left centre mid and right centre mid. Can you switch them around? You can. Also, by the way, as I said, yeah, the charity stream will be at 6 p.m. Sorry, UK time. 6 p.m. UK time on the 2nd of May. Twitch.tv/NealGuides. Link is in the description for that. So stay tuned and come enjoy. And we'll play some FUT Champions during team of the season. Anyway, the key thing with this formation as well is from kickoff. Whenever there's a general rule of thumb, whenever you create a formation using dynamic tactics, just try to be safe, especially during kickoff. Kickoff is the worst thing that could ever happen to you, because especially now in team of the season, if you go 1-0 down, you're seriously in trouble. So I'm just going to play this a bit safe. That was a nice, oh, that was really nice. So he did a ball roll there. So like automatically now, I'm thinking, okay, you know what, this guy's maybe a good player. But the good thing with a 4-1-2-1-2 second variation is its build up. You see that Mane, he kind of runs from a wing position. You're going to see once the formation changes, but also look out for the fullbacks. Now these fullbacks, they're going to make runs. Now they're going to provide width and support. Now in the midfield, you're going to be unpredictable. You can decide what to do. But these left back and right backs, the key thing is you want to use them. So that's why I said you can use wingers in these positions, but I'd recommend, just fast fullbacks. Don't put slow fullbacks. The work rates, it doesn't matter too much. You can also put the fullbacks on balance. People have been asking me. But it's not the end of the world. If they do have bad work rates, I would suggest maybe put them on, during the attack always. As opposed to using, just generally just using balance. Because balance, it is worthwhile, but it doesn't really work that well. As you can see, we are defending in a 4-4-1-1. And as you can see, look, we've got to focus on Kante now. You see how Kante drops between defenders? So this is how it works. So Kante, he'll be there for the counter-attack. As soon as the counter-attack is finished, he now drops between defenders. You see that? So he's there for so this is why the formation is so good. Because when you're building up, just for that split second, you have that player available. When you're lofted pass now to Nedved. And it should be a goal. So what we did there is, you probably saw that Kante, he went forward just a little bit. So basically in the defensive phase, we're defending in a 4-4-2. Kante was playing left mid. Once we got the ball back, you probably saw that Kante went back into a CDM left centre mid position. Then just as soon as the ball kept moving a bit more forward and the counter attack was off, he then resided back into the drop between the defenders' positions. So you still have that player there for the counter attack. That's what's key. That's why we didn't want to use a CDM on drop between defenders. As we said, we're defending in a 4-4-2. If you're defending in a 4-4-2, I would recommend, if you're not that good at defending in a 4-4-2, the key is to use the strikers as well. Because a lot of the time people use the 4-4-2, see what happens is the 4-4-2 is quite rigid, but as soon as you bring a player out of position, you could be in trouble. So what you can do is you can flick to your striker, and that way you can just press with your strikers. Don't press out. The biggest mistake I see people do with a 4-4-2 is they press out with the players, for example, the left centre mids, the right centre mids, and the centre mids, and then you create gaps in behind. That's Salah. He's left-footed, so I don't mind. He's probably going to cross the ball, and he's not going to shoot really. Got a bit unlucky there, but change to Blanc. We're going to change to Nedved now. Okay, now build up. Now we're going to play slow. Now we're in trouble. We're going to get impressed here. I'm looking at the radar now. We can see players available. Just going to be slow. Not going to panic. We see the right back available. We're going to pass the ball to him. We're going to do an R1 trigger to get that. Now, even though that's Atal, and don't forget that Atal can be either on free roam or on balance. So look here. I'm looking at the radar. I can see my left back completely clean through. If the ball goes to him, he's going to be free. That was actually a bad pass to Stegen. But yeah, so look at the fullback. So whenever you're getting, so this is a good thing because the 4-1-2-1-2 naturally is a good formation, but also the right back and left back, they also spread your opponent's play. Look how much space on my left back has. I don't know if you'll get this, but you see how much space my left back has. But also what these left back and right backs do, maybe you didn't know, is they actually split up your opponent's defense. So see, if your opponent has a choice here, if he doesn't mark the fullbacks are going to be free. But the fullbacks, they also drag up defenders away. You see all these pockets of space that these fullbacks can go into. So be patient. You can find the pockets of space. You just have to be patient. So when you're outside the box, when you see an opportunity, if you're ever in trouble and you can't find a striker, you can always use the fullbacks. So you can see there, you can see Semedo, he's occupying my opponent's right back, and that's creating space down the middle. You see how easy it is. So that's why the key thing is that you want to always look out. You can still play very fast football, but the key thing is you want to use it to the peak potential. Is you just want to be safe. You know, especially now in Foot Champions with team and seasons around, you want to be careful. We're going to do a quick 1-2 back. You see the left back overlapping there. That's fine. So as I said, the key thing has been, because there's so many players forward, it's really hard to read. So like when you're attacking, you see all these options I have, all these passing options you have, although it was offside, is a good example of how it does work. General rule of thumb as well, when you do get, so let's say for example you don't have possession of the ball, try to always run back with your strikers before you're moving your back line in position, like so. See, I'm pressing my striker first. This way you're keeping my left centre mid in position. Even like for example like here, never run forward. I see people be aggressive, like for example like here. Try to use your strikers first, especially in a 4-4-2. If you're not that good at defending, use your, and here like use my CDMs first, use my CDM. Nice, go cut back. Run and jockey. See, I'm just doing run and jockey as usual. Remember, the run and jockey, just L2 and R2, nothing too extravagant, nothing special there. Again, we can see Semedo on the top. We can see Semedo is clearing through. If you want, we can pass the ball to Semedo. As you can see, look, the left centre back and the right centre back, you can see they split up. So what happens is the right centre back becomes like almost like a right back, as you can see. And my left centre back, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, which is Robertson. So the key thing is with these players over here is you want fast players, because these guys are going to be there for, like, let's say you get contact, they're going to be there and available to pass to. So when you're playing my 4-1-2-1-2 second variation, there we can see like a massive gap has opened up. Unlucky there. But you see when you're playing a 4-1-2-1-2, just when you're getting contact, just do be careful. So when you are making the team, just do be very careful. People have been asking about the right centre mid role, you know, who could you play there? I play a Atal there. Ideally, you want to play someone who's good in the attack and as good in the defence. So a box-to-box player. Someone like Atal is a perfect example, because you're someone like Blanc who kind of sits in the middle, right? Someone like Blanc sits in the back, whereas someone like Atal, essentially what he does is he just, you know, he's a box-to-box player. So when you put him on free roam, he can go forward and he can defend. And Blanc, as you can see, he sits always in CDM. So the CDM always sits in place. As you can see, Kante is still available. Once the counter-attack is gone, as you can see, Kante goes back. And that's pretty much how it works. Now we're going to start going forward. We're just going to wait now. We're going to pass back to Blanc, which is our CDM, who'll always stay. And I see, look, he's got 3 players forward. So you also got to be careful. If your opponent has got 3 players forward, it might be worth changing a formation, because your opponent knows what you're doing. Although you'll be very good in the attack, just do be very careful, because if you lose the ball, for example, like here, you'll have to recover. Also, a quick tip how to do this free kick. So if you want to call a second player to do a free kick, you press the R2 and the L2 button. Basically, if you press the L2 button, do whatever. Let's say you do a fake shot L2, that player will make a move. If you do, for example, a fake shot with the regular guy, that person will make a run. The key thing is when you make the passes, you want to hold the button that's attributed to that player. So if you press L2 to call a player, then you have to press L2 the entire time. So if you want to take a shot with that player, you have to hold L2, then press the shot button. If you want to, for example, take a shot with the third player, you got to hold R2. Same way with the pass. So basically with that free kick, the key thing is when you call someone, you want to hold that button to make sure they take it. So here we're going to run back. Okay, so we're 1-0 ahead. One thing I would suggest is with this formation, if, for example, you're struggling defensively, another thing you can do is you can put the Atal on stay back while attacking. You can leave him on balanced, but if you are struggling defensively, you can put him on stay back while attacking. That way he still acts as a centre mid, but he doesn't really go forward too much. This is one thing you can do if you're struggling defensively. One thing you can also do is you can also put both the strikers on comeback and defence. It doesn't mean anything. What will happen is the 2 strikers will just be a bit more reserved. And let me tell you a secret. With the 4-4-2, when you're defending a 4-4-2, the 2 strikers being a bit more reserved is actually beneficial, because 1, you can actually switch the players much easier, and 2, you can help press your opponent, because you see, contrary to belief, it's better to be wide as possible, and it's better to press your opponent with your players behind the ball. Your players on stay forward being in front of the ball, it's not going to help you press. So that's why I wouldn't recommend stay forward. Get a chance here. Through ball, as you can see, my left back is free down the wing. We can see a tower in the middle there. Oh, it's a bad pass. And again, look, so now we're just going to run back. See? Run back. Whenever you get contact, just run back. Just run back. Don't run to your opponent. See? Just run back. Let your team go into shape. Just run back. If you're ever in doubt, just run back. See how I'm running back? See, I'm just being safe. And this is the key. That was a nice skill move from him there. I was really unlucky from him. That was actually a nice skill move from there. But you see, the key is running back. You know, and this is generally for all counterattacks. Whenever your opponent has the ball and there's a chance that your opponent can counter. See, I guess you can see Kante there. He's there for the counterattack. Then he relegates back to a CDM position. As you can see, look, that's why counter-attacks are so hard to defend against, you see? Because you have Mane, who's playing a right mid. See, when Mane is defending, he's a right mid, then he runs straight from a wide position, directly through the middle. Now you have to think from your opponent's perspective. A is not going to read that run because no one expects a right mid to run inside, and B, the player's AI can't react to that. See, that's why it's such an unpredictable formation. You see on a counter attack, Kante goes forward just a little bit, Mane runs from like a wide position. Yeah, but whenever you get in counter attack, just run back. You know, everyone always asks me, you know, what do I do? Why do I keep conceding? If you lose the ball, just run back. And if, for example, you score a goal, and let's say, for example, you're controlling the game, I will say just hold the ball for a bit. This is a key tip as well. Whenever I score a goal, I never want my opponent to have the ball, because then they start getting back into the game. I don't want that. So I'll hold the ball for just a little bit. As you can see, my left back and right back, as you can see, they're pushing his left back and right back apart. I don't know if you can see that. If you look on the radar, look, you see how far his right back has to man mark my left back when he's running forward. You see Semedo. And you can see this is when the formation really comes to life, when someone goes attacking, because you have so many passing options available. I think this player is more desperation, or honestly, more than anything, for him now. But again, getting counter, just run back. See, just run back. Just keep running back. Just run back. Literally, just run back. Remember, your opponent has to always come towards you, so never be afraid to run back. One thing you can do as well is, let's say, for example, you're worried that, let's say, you can't defend anymore. You can always change to a 4-2-3-1. So what you can do is you can use the 4-1-2-1-2 second variation, and then you can change to the 4-2-3-1 in game. Other thing you can also do is you can also put the left back and the right back on stay back while attacking. Now, there's two things. This is more manual control, but the problem is they don't run naturally in their own runs. I'll explain to you in a second. The key thing is, in a 5-2-1-2, you have fast build-up play. So in my opinion, the 5-2-1-2 is more superior, but the 5-2-1-2 you defend in a 5-4-1-1, or sorry, a 5-4-1 if that makes sense, or 5-3-1-1. That's why it's not beneficial to defend in 5-2-1-2, but with a 4-1-2-1-2 second variation, you actually defend in a 4-1-2-1, and you actually defend in a 4-4-2, so it's better in my opinion defensively. So that way, and as I said, look, what you can do is you can put both the left back and right backs on stay back while attacking, and you can actually trigger them forward manually. So let's say, for example, as you can see with this situation over here, I have the attack. We can see that's Kante. He's dropped between the defenders. Kante is now going to, as you watch Kante, he's going to drop between the defenders now. Watch him. See, once the counter attack is over, he's dropping in between the defenders. Then you have a back five. Now you can use these left back and right backs to kind of not waste time, but to kind of anchor your opponent down the middle, as you can see. And you can also trigger them forward manually. So let's say, for example, you want them to make runs deep from like this, do an L1 trigger like that. Let him make a run, and you see how your opponent reacts to the run. So what you can do is, this is another thing you can do, is you can just press the L1 button, let him make a run, and your opponent will always somewhat mark it. See, and that actually creates more space in the middle. You see that? That's one key tip. You see how the wing plays are so important. So that is one thing I would say. Again here. Don't run back. You see I ran forward there. You should always run back. See, that's a perfect example I deliberately did. You see, I'm going to man mark the guy in the middle now. Unlucky. So Salah was left footed there, so I tried to push him on his left foot. But you see, for example, over there, I deliberately and purposely pass the ball back. See, that's why you never run towards your opponent, you always run backwards. What you can do as well, you can also turn on the D-pad tactics, turn attacking fullbacks on. Now this will make your fullbacks run forward. Now it won't be like the 5-2-1-2, so you can still dictate it to run forward and back. Like if I turn it off now, you're going to see my fullbacks are now going to start coming close. So what you can do is, if you're getting pressed and you find that, for example, in the middle of the game, you're struggling, you can always control the fullbacks manually, if that makes sense. As I said, fullbacks join the attack, you can let them go forward like so. If, for example, you want them to come close, and then you can just turn the fullbacks join the attack off, and it's the same variation. But in my opinion, I'll just leave it on automatic. And there you also, don't forget, when the fullbacks run back and forward, your opponent can't mark this. You see this? Because watch. When I do attacking fullbacks, watch Renato Sanchez on our top. You see how he's dragging Salah away? I don't know if you saw that on the top hand side. I'm looking at it right now. You see how you might have to rewind that, but go rewind it like 10 seconds back. You see how Salah actually got dragged back because Renato Sanchez went to a wide position. I don't know if you saw that. That's another trick you can do as well. So when you have the ball, switch the ball and then pass the ball to your midfielders. And then if you do, for example, attacking fullbacks, you see, look, it's going to drag away Salah. See, look at Salah. See how Salah's getting dragged away? And this is going to create more space for you in the middle over here to build up. You see how Salah's getting dragged so wide apart? So that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is also hug the sidelines. So hug the sidelines is another feature. So left back and right back will go even more further. Even more further apart. Sorry, I just coughed. These live commentaries are quite hard to do. So you could do also the hug the sidelines as well. So when you do have the ball, these left back and right backs will be so far wide apart. Look at Ronaldo. Look at the distance he has. Look at that distance he has. And that's another thing you can do. So if you are struggling, let's say down the wing, and there's not attacking option available, you can always use hug to silence. And again, you can still turn it off. So again, hug to silence is, attacking fullbacks is turned off now. So my fullbacks are going to join the attack. And then you can turn attacking fullbacks on again. And you can see how the right back is completely unmarked there. So that's how you can numerically outnumber your opponent, because your opponent won't read this. You see, it's so hard for you, even if your opponent was playing ultra defensive or you had players back, it's so hard to read this because you got 5 strikers, or including your 2 strikers and your cam, against a typically speaking, a back 4. Even if your opponent tries to man mark it, unless he's got a 5 defender formation, he's never going to have a player for each. He'll have to either bring a CDM back, so therefore, in theory, you're always going to have a numerical advantage. So even if your opponent is parking a bus or he's playing very attacking, like he is, you're always going to have a numerical advantage when you're going forward, but you're going to maintain that stability. As you can see, I kind of got the diamond as well in midfield. So you can see I kind of got the diamond as well. I got the Blanc, the Kante, and see, so you also got the diamond to build up on. So if you ever struggle, just go back to a diamond. If you're worried about building up, as you can see, look at the space Ronaldo Sanchez has created in the middle. You see that space? Look how much space is created for the players. But anyway, that's the 4-1-2-1-2 second variation. That is a live con. What you can also do as well is extra striker, where a player actually drops in from midfield, which is actually pretty dope as well. But yeah, and as I said, if you hold the R2 button, you do a fake shot. That player that you hold the R2 button will do the fake shot with that player. Just do a simple pass to him, and that's how you do that fake shot, in case you're wondering. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope this is good insight for the 4-1-2-1-2 second variation. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Don't forget as well, twitch.tv/NealGuides. I'll be streaming 2nd of May. And I think I'll have a new stream schedule as well, 8 PM almost every single day as well. So 6 PM on Saturday, 2nd of May. If you're watching this after the 2nd of May, feel free to tune in anyway. I stream most days at 8 PM. Link will be in the description. Thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Best of luck on the weekend league. And I'll catch you guys soon. Take it easy, boys. Peace out.